In the early hours of June 20, 2024, the quiet neighborhood of Gulf View Terrace in Rockdale County, Georgia, was shattered by the sound of gunfire. It was around 12:45 a.m. when deputies responded to a distressing 911 call about a shooting outside a home in Conyers. What they found was the lifeless body of 24-year-old Kyla Cooper, lying in plain view near the residence. She had been shot and left to die on the street, a young mother and soon-to-be parent, gunned down in a moment of fatal rage. Kyla Cooper was a vibrant young woman, a mother to two daughters, Naomi and Nyla, aged 5 and 4. She was also pregnant with her third child, a fact that would tragically become the catalyst for her murder. Those who knew Kyla described her as joyful and loving, someone who adored her children and had been hopeful about mending things with her ex-boyfriend, Rashad Thompson, the father of her unborn baby. That night, Kyla made a life-altering decision. She drove to Rashad's home to share the news of her pregnancy, believing he had a right to know. But what she didn't expect was to walk into the center of a volatile love triangle. Another woman, 25-year-old Arkea Tate, also involved with Rashad, was already there. And tensions between the two women had long been simmering beneath the surface. Witnesses say an argument broke out almost immediately between Kyla and Arkea. The confrontation turned physical as the two women fought, verbally and violently, in the street just outside Rashad's home. A neighbor later recounted the terrifying moment. "I was laying down and heard an argument, then a thump, and then a gunshot. Right after that, I saw a car speeding down the road, alarms going off. That single gunshot proved fatal." When deputies arrived, Kyla was unresponsive. She was pronounced dead at the scene. It was clear from the very beginning that this wasn't a random shooting, this was personal. Within hours, deputies arrested Arkea Tate about 2 miles away from the scene. The motive was equally heartbreaking and disturbing: jealousy. Kyla's arrival that night and her announcement of a pregnancy was the final spark in an already explosive dynamic between the women. Authorities believe Arkea pulled the trigger during the heat of the altercation, ending Kyla's life over a man they had both loved. Arkea was charged with felony murder, aggravated assault, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. She was booked into the Rockdale County Jail without bond. As for Rashad Thompson, the man at the center of it all, he was also arrested at the scene, though not in connection to the murder. Authorities charged him with unrelated offenses. And his exact role in the escalating conflict remains under investigation. Kyla's family was left devastated. Her father, speaking through tears, explained that Kyla had gone there simply to tell Rashad about their baby. "She wasn't looking for trouble," he said. "She wanted him to know. That's all." In the days following her death, Kyla's loved ones organized a vigil in her honor. Friends, neighbors, and even strangers gathered to release balloons into the sky, remembering a young life stolen far too soon. Her daughters, now orphaned of their mother, are being cared for by relatives, and a fundraiser was launched to help support them. The murder of Kyla Cooper sent shockwaves through the local community, and beyond. It's a brutal reminder of how jealousy, possessiveness, and unresolved relationship dynamics can escalate into deadly violence. Kyla was a young woman, a mother, and a daughter, excited about her future, only to have it violently stolen in an act of senseless rage. She deserved better. She deserved peace. And above all, she deserved to be heard without being silenced by a bullet. May her story serve as a warning and a wake-up call, and may justice be served in her name. Rest in peace, Kyla Cooper. The tragic story of Kyla Cooper teaches us several powerful and painful lessons, ones that resonate far beyond the crime scene in Rockdale County. Here are some of the key takeaways. 1. Love triangles can be deadly. Unresolved romantic entanglements and emotional rivalries can escalate quickly, especially when jealousy, insecurity, and betrayal are involved. This case is a heartbreaking example of how love triangles, if left unchecked, can become volatile and dangerous. 2. Violence is never the answer, no matter the intensity of our emotions. Hurt, betrayal, anger, resorting to violence never solves the problem. In this case, a moment of rage ended a young woman's life, orphaned 2 children, and destroyed 3 families. One life was lost, and another was thrown into the criminal justice system, possibly for decades. 3. Communication and conflict resolution are vital. Had there been open and respectful communication between the people involved, this tragedy might have been avoided. Learning how to walk away from a heated situation, or seek help when emotions become overwhelming, can prevent irreversible outcomes. 4. Domestic and relationship disputes should be taken seriously. Often, people dismiss signs of brewing conflict in personal relationships, especially among former partners. But these situations can become deadly. Friends, family, and even the individuals involved need to take emotional tension seriously and seek mediation or counseling where possible. 5. Children are the silent victims. Kyla's daughters not only lost their mother, they may also grow up with the emotional scars of knowing she was murdered. Every act of violence leaves a ripple effect, and in many cases, the children suffer the longest. This highlights the importance of considering the broader consequences of our actions. 6. Gun access amplifies violence. The fact that a firearm was easily accessible played a major role in this killing. Without that gun, Kyla might have lived through the altercation. This underscores the ongoing debate about responsible gun ownership, access, and use in emotionally charged environments. 7. Senseless violence leaves permanent scars. This wasn't a gang-related crime or a random act of violence. It happened between people who once shared emotional connections. It's a chilling reminder that sometimes the people closest to us can pose the greatest danger when emotions are left unchecked. 8. Justice must include prevention. While arresting the perpetrator brings a measure of justice, true justice includes working to prevent such tragedies in the first place, through education, mental health support, and stronger community awareness of the red flags in toxic relationships. 9. Unchecked jealousy can be destructive. Jealousy, when not acknowledged or controlled, can lead to irrational thinking and impulsive behavior. Arkea Tate allowed jealousy and rivalry to override empathy, reason, and basic humanity. This tragedy shows how important it is to address jealousy in a healthy way before it turns toxic. 10. Pregnancy should be respected, not weaponized. Kyla was pregnant, a time when she should have been protected and cared for. Instead, her pregnancy became the trigger for hostility. This case is a painful reminder that pregnant women are especially vulnerable and deserve heightened emotional, physical, and psychological safety. 11. Women shouldn't have to compete for respect or love. The idea that women must fight each other over a man is deeply rooted in harmful societal norms. Kyla and Arkea were both involved with the same man, but the blame for the conflict shouldn't rest solely on them. This situation highlights the need for men, and society, to foster honesty and clarity in relationships to prevent rivalry and harm. 12. Emotional maturity saves lives. All parties in this tragedy lacked emotional maturity, whether in handling breakups, confronting difficult conversations, or managing hurt feelings. Learning to process rejection, disappointment, and complex emotions in healthy ways is vital, especially for young adults navigating relationships. 13. Past conflicts often predict future violence. This wasn't the first sign of tension between Kyla and Arkea. When verbal arguments or threats escalate repeatedly, it's a clear warning sign of potential violence. Early intervention, whether by friends, family, or law enforcement, could make a critical difference. 14. People need safe spaces to share sensitive news. Kyla went alone at night to share news of her pregnancy. That choice, while brave, turned deadly. This highlights the importance of safe communication, choosing public spaces, bringing trusted friends, or delaying a sensitive discussion until it's safe to have it. 15. Tragedy can happen anywhere. This wasn't a high-crime area or a known danger zone. It was a quiet residential neighborhood. Tragedy doesn't discriminate based on location, income, or background. Emotional instability and poor decision-making can turn any place into a crime scene. 16. The aftermath of murder is far-reaching. Kyla's death affected more than just her and her children. Her parents lost a daughter. Arkea's family lost their freedom. Rashad's role caused emotional damage to everyone involved. One act of violence sends ripples through generations. 17. The legal system responds. But often too late. Law enforcement responded quickly, and Arkea was arrested, but Kyla still died. This shows that justice systems are reactive, not preventive. It's up to communities, families, and individuals to recognize and stop danger before it becomes fatal. 18. Emotional support systems are crucial. Had Kyla or Arkea had strong emotional support or access to counseling, this story might have ended differently. Society needs more safe spaces, especially for young women, to talk through feelings of betrayal, fear, and confusion without judgment. 19. Men must be held accountable in emotional conflicts. Rashad was involved with both women and allegedly contributed to the emotional instability that led to Kyla's murder. Men involved in multiple relationships have a responsibility to be honest, clear, and respectful, especially when children and pregnancies are involved. 20. Every life has purpose, even in death. Though Kyla's life was cut short, her story now serves a larger purpose. It's a stark warning, a painful lesson, and hopefully, a catalyst for change. If her story prevents even one act of violence, her voice will not have been silenced in vain. Let her death not be in vain. Let it ignite conversations, accountability, and compassion in all relationships. Kyla Cooper's life mattered. Her death is not just a news headline, it's a call to action. A call to resolve our conflicts with compassion, to walk away from toxic situations, and to always value human life above fleeting emotions. May we all learn from her story, and may we do better, for the sake of all the Kylas still living.